All right, man. Man. All right. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. I'll name this segment later. Spit that grease. You know what I'm saying? Bacon bits. You know what I'm saying? Cold grease. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. We're working it out. I'm working it out. All right. This is a follow-up to DSP begging his detractors, trolls, haters, and critics for fucking money to keep the fucking clown, the circus, the clown train going or whatever. The hell? This idiot, this absolute fucking buffoon now wants to kill off smart guys because detractors, trolls, haters, and the critics won't support it. Actually, let's bring that back, okay? Let's rewind that back. The truth is he doesn't want to kill off smart guys. He wants to kill off the grill fill segment. Because he was looking at that, or at least the way he tries to portray it in the pre-stream, and this was some type of fan service for his haters to pay for. Essentially, the idea, at least the way he's trying to make it sound, is that PPP was inducing a level of fan service for detractors, hoping that they would contribute to the success of the overall show. When in actuality, in the last grill fill segment, we ain't hit a little too, we hit a little too close to home. We got to see the refrigerator and freezer, which are absolute fucking trash heaps. He was talking some nonsense about the IRS. We'll get into that when we go over the actual video for that itself, and some other silly shit. It was it was an absolute fucking circus. Like, even PPP was looking at this guy like, you're a fucking weirdo. Like, first things first, before before episode 5 of Smart Guys, DSP said, he must have said like after episode 4 of Smart Guys that or no, he said it during episode 4, I think. That's when PPP brought up the idea of letting us see his refrigerator and his freezer, and his refrigerator and freezer. That hey, why don't you go ahead and, what's the problem with this cake situation? How come you don't have room? DSP is like, oh, we just went to Costco and bought all this food and I have to ration it out for a month. What? How do you ration out food for a month when you said that you guys go shopping weekly? That's the first problem. Secondly, if you're eating the food that's actually in the freezer, then by the time the cake shows up, there'll be room for it. So why are you lying about this? Like, why are you using this fucking $100 rum cake or $90 rum cake or whatever it is? Why are you holding that shit hostage? And then saying, oh, if you guys don't hit the goal in time, the cake's gonna go bad. The cake's good for like 5 days, bruh. Probably 7. If you cut it up in 5 days and then freeze pieces of it like you do with your shitty fucking homemade sauce, then it doesn't even matter. On top of that, the human garbage disposal, which is your fucking wife, who's really your roommate, she's gonna end up fucking cleaning that shit up anyway. So it don't even matter, because DSP is he's not really like a sweets type of person. So Cat's gonna finish it anyway. And actually, now that I think about it, the telltale signs of that shit goes all the way back when she first visited him, like that first year before she moved in. And then if you think about all the time she baked, DSP would only say, oh yeah, I only ate it for like a day or so and then I was done with it, and then Cat finished the rest of it. Why didn't I think about that sooner? And actually, now that I think about it, one of the reasons why I probably didn't think about that sooner is because DSP has a habit of throwing food out, vegetables in particular, and fruits, after a week, which makes no sense, I know. But he has a habit of doing that. He's on record for saying that shit. But then looking at how the refrigerator stocked up like that, I'm wondering if it's just overloaded so there isn't proper airflow. And because DSP is such a dumbass where he's literally buying vegetables or having them delivered and then cutting them up immediately, putting them in containers and leaving it in the refrigerator and not using them, that would lead into why they were going bad. On top of the fact that they have food in the house and yet they're still door dashing, which makes no sense. Let me save that for another time. In any case, he wants to go ahead and kill off the grill fill segment if detractors, trolls, haters, and critics won't pay for them to do it. Essentially, he wants grill fill segment was supposed to be like a comedy roast, like a celebrity, air quote, comedy roast that he believes that people should have paid for. If they're not going to contribute to it, they're not going to do it. But that's not the real reason why he's killing it off. He's killing it off because that shit's hitting too close to home. He doesn't have any real explanations because the lie doesn't hold up. It never did. And PPP knows that. And I think DSP is realizing, because DSP follows Detractor Twitter, and he also follows the farms, that people are fucking getting a good laugh out of it. Some people like it, some people don't. You know what I'm saying? You know, go with what you care about. But I would say for the most part, it's starting to build a foundation that is breaking the facade of whatever DSP's lies are, because he's already gone back on the push-up shit. Who knows what else he's willing to falter on later on. His tax nonsense sounds crazy. You know what I'm saying? The fucking the false identity thing, or the identity theft thing, doesn't hold up. So I think that's what it is. I think he's starting to get scared of it. He's starting to get scared of it, and he's going to PPP and saying, "Oh, if we can't get people to contribute to it, then there's no point in doing it." On top of that, the situation that happened with the 11-year-old girl that DSP wanted to smack the shit out of. When he got confronted with that, PPP is like, "Hey, I have the clip. Let's pull it up." Oh, okay. Well, no, we can't, because if not, it's gonna get demonetized. PPP is like, "What? They'll demonetize the video. Detractors did it to me before, and years later, I went to YouTube and they re-enabled it." There's all kinds of things wrong with that, and I'll turn that to a separate video. But let me address some of that real quick. Detractors, trolls, haters, and critics got the video demonetized, and you waited years to go back to YouTube to get it remonetized? If that's the case, then why did you delete all of those pre-streams, all those podcasts that had the Eminem joint in it? Why didn't you just ask YouTube that, "Hey, let me remove that and then put the podcast back up," or whatever the fuck? Semantics. On top of that, you said that Detractors, trolls, haters, and critics were getting demonetized, but yet almost everybody has a copy of that on their channel somewhere. It's not demonetized over there. Why didn't you flag it? On top of that, you basically lied. Then you lied on the girl and said that she said something that she didn't say. You were really scared of that clip. You were super scared of that clip getting out there, because you ain't sat there and spent all those years lying about it and saying it didn't happen the way people portrayed it. Hell, PPP called you out on something that I've been calling you out on how much of a coward you were. That once she told you to get your ass into that waiting room, and you did, you muted your mic like a bitch and talked shit to her and talked shit behind her back. Muted. Like a coward. He called you out on that too. So I'm thinking that shit was gonna hit you way too close to the fucking belt, and you knew that you weren't gonna be able to explain that shit away. But PPP's already seen the clip, so he already knows what it is. You didn't want any of PPP's pay pigs to see that shit? I'm pretty sure he's gonna play it on the show eventually. So that doesn't mean anything. If not, it's in their Discord. So, okay, whatever. All right, so I guess he's gonna try to hold the Grill Phil segment hostage to get Detractors, trolls, haters, and critics to contribute to the fucking to the vortex and shit. Which, as much as I like the Grill Phil segment, I'm not gonna pay for it. I don't think anybody should, to be honest, because sooner than later PPP is gonna do it anyway, or Triple P as I like to call him. He's gonna do it anyway to amuse himself. Or if it doesn't turn into a segment, he'll just throw jabs at you. He'll just throw zingers at you throughout the show. I think he'll just do that, to be honest. So whatever your little fucking plan, or the show dies out of boredom. Because let's be honest, if Smart Guys ends, it'll be because PPP wants it to end, or he's gonna want out. So either way, DSP, whether he realizes it or not, PPP still holds all the cards. The house is always gonna win. I'm really stunned that he didn't see that. He didn't see that at all. Like, and the thing is it's like, you're not scared to lie to PPP's face. So why do you care what is brought up and is thrown at you? I don't get it. I really don't get it. And if you're trying to clean up your image or whatever, then you might as well get everything out of there. You might as well get everything out in the open. You might as well get some real clarification for shit. And I think one thing is, because he's a pathological liar and everybody knows it, he knows no one's going to believe him, so why address it? Which isn't a good excuse, but it is the Phil Burnell way. On top of that, no one's gonna really give a fuck. If the Grill Phil segment ends, it ends. What, are you gonna try to turn it into now funneling in troll donations? And then you guys try to react to the super chats like that instead of having an actual Grill Phil segment? That's not gonna work either. I'm sure there's some people that'll try to do it, but eventually that's just gonna fall flat. So that's not gonna go anywhere. Not in the long term. This is dumb. This is really dumb. This is really dumb. It's clear that he has no real direction with how he's doing this. He's not able to, he's not really controlling the narrative. You know what I'm saying? And there's nobody that's gonna put no real money behind this, not at this point. And that don't stop me from doing the fucking Grill Phil wish list. I'm gonna keep doing it. And this changes literally nothing. Now we just starve you guys out, which is only gonna, I mean, the money doesn't really matter to PPP, or at least so he said. But now you're just giving PPP more leverage to do what he wants. PPP is already, or Triple P as I like to call him, he's already like 70% of the show. 70+%, I should say. He's already 70+% of the show. The Grill Phil segment is probably the most that he speaks. DSP actually speaks during the whole damn thing, during the whole stream. So now you want to cut that off, have it focus strictly on wrestling without trying to lighten the mood leading into the wrestling, and you can't even really contribute to it. PPP outclassed you in almost every category. People in his chat were saying, hey Phil, you need to talk more, or you need to spend more time watching the product, because you're up there looking like you don't know what you're talking about. Because he don't know what he's talking about. He literally has no fucking clue what's going on. So, like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure that PPP is prepping him before the show to at least be able to, okay, you're not gonna be able to follow everything. Here's some talking points I'm gonna address. Try to meet me halfway on that, or try to limp towards this as best you can. Oh my Christ, son. And then here's the thing. I want to actually bring this up. The Grill Phil segment, I was wondering why they moved it to the beginning of the show. I want to call it a show, but why they moved it in the beginning of the show. And the reason why, because DSP is like, oh, in the first hour of the show, everybody checks out. Well, truth be told, everybody's quote unquote theoretically checking in when the stream starts. So putting it at the beginning of the show kind of makes sense, because let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, the viewership dies as soon as the Grill Phil segment is over, for the most part. So truth be told, putting it there in the beginning makes sense. It's like a waiting room type situation. Funnel everybody in, everybody can have a giggle and shit, everybody waits for the actual wrestling segment, which is usually about 15 minutes to an hour in, and then everybody fucks off. So theoretically there was some utility to it. So getting rid of it just seems petty ego, essentially. And like I said, if that's the case, you're not even really hurting PPP. He'll just figure out another angle to hit you at. So it changes literally nothing. And now, if the Grill Phil segment is gone, I don't see donations going up. I don't see contributions going up, because they're already low now. And DSP's trying to blame the Grill Phil segment for derailing everything, which is causing for the show to start to stagnate, or contributions to stagnate. You get rid of the Grill Phil segment, you think everything's just gonna boost right back up? Viewership's gonna drop, and contributions are more likely gonna drop up too. Unless fucking Iron Chef Sakai or whoever the fuck that is, or fucking Only Iced Coffee or whoever, someone comes in and is a whale and fucking donates it to it each and every week, but they're not. And let's be honest, on the Kino Casino side of it, they're bored with they've been bored with fucking the wrestling shit. I mean, there are some dedicated people that are still gonna watch it. They're not gonna contribute to it. So you're losing on all fronts. But here's the thing though, they have to keep the show going till WrestleMania, at the very least. let's be honest, the show's not going to hit the algorithm at all, so that doesn't really matter. But at the very least, they need to be able to go to a WrestleMania. All right. Well, that's whatever. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. I was kind of pondering at the on the last episode, or on one of the previous episodes, I should say, what DSP had for leverage. This isn't it. To be perfectly honest with you, this isn't it. This isn't leverage. This doesn't make me want to scramble and fucking send money your way. I've never done it. I never plan to do it. This doesn't change anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, one circus act doesn't kill the circus, so it doesn't. No, sorry, that doesn't mean anything. It really don't. PPP can figure out a way around it. He'll just throw zingers at you in another way. It is what it is. I don't see troll donations or troll tips going up if the grill fill segment gets killed off. That's not going to happen. It's just not. It's not pragmatic. It's not pragmatic. And if it keeps DSP from his goal, because that's another thing. They made $150 on that show, and DSP had an additional, I think they're up to 90. Well, at the time, they were up to 94. But that wasn't that's not plausible, because I don't think they count the Kino Casino shit, or they don't count smart guys towards the overall goal. They hit over 150 on the show. DSP said, "Well, hey man, hey buddy, I really want you to hit your fucking goal and shit. So I'm keeping my 75. He's keeping his half of the money, but he's saying use that and put that to your overall goal." So PPP apparently gave pity to him so this could keep going. Even if you were to say, "Oh well, PPP wants the laughter to go on because yet again it falls into DSP's desperation. It's all content it's all content farming either which way," I could see PPP doing it. That doesn't actually help if you realistically think about it. Because by DSP compartmentalizing the smart guy's income as something separate from what he's already doing on his own platform, if he has to add that too, and then add the begging detractors, trolls, haters, and critics for their money, it's even worse. It makes him look even more petty. Or not petty, even more pathetic. Because now he's real. It just goes to show like the vulnerability of his financial state. Like literally, there's not enough being brought in to where now PPP has to spiritually contribute to the goal. And now we're asking detractors, trolls, and haters and critics to please donate to the goal. And now we're trying to hold shit hostage to try to get detractors, trolls, haters, and critics to donate to it. Like, you're an utter fucking failure. Just like people like myself have been saying. Well, and people before me have said that. You're a literal fucking failure. Like, this isn't his lowest, don't get it twisted, but this is pretty goddamn low. So you're gonna run around here talking about you want people to get a spoon and eat out of your ass or whatever, pig butt or whatever that nonsense is. But you're gonna turn around and ask those same people for money? Let me reiterate that, I'm sorry. You're gonna beg those people for money? And you think that you're on equal grounds with your detractors, trolls, haters, and critics? I don't know what to say. I really don't. I don't know what to say. Like I said, we'll go over the actual video itself. Because I just finished the video for the when he initially begged his detractors, trolls, haters, and critics for money. I just finished that. So I'll follow it up with this and shit, and then I'll record that actual video too. And we'll see what we make out of it, but this is a struggle session like no other. It's not even a struggle session anymore. It's just, I'm stunned that he thinks this is gonna work at all. It's especially if, for any of you who have been around and you remember like the third days where that type of trolling was going on, that was done with very little. Sometimes he contributed, sometimes he didn't, but there was a lot of mileage that was gotten out of that, or that was produced out of that, or whatever. There's a lot of miles traveled from it, let's say. So to think that this is going to push the fucking mercury on anything literally makes no sense. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. And then he also claimed that his detractors, trolls, haters, and critics take advantage of vulnerable people. That's a whole nother video. We're gonna save that. But I caught that little quiff too, where like the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics take advantage of the people who give them money, which means DSP is pocket watching and whatnot. Or if not, he has his dents, the Gouty Gestapo out there, and the Denny SS are running around sitting there pocket watching these other detractors and their contributions and whatnot. I'm assuming that being said is probably one of the people that are knee deep in they're over there watching and getting an idea of what the money looks like and running back to Phil with that shit. And it's like, you do realize that you have over a decade's worth of content out here to smack the fuck out of you with, right? You also realize that the shit that you did 10 years ago, you're still doing now. You're just doing it in a slightly different way. Still same shit though. Like the shit don't stop. I don't understand why he hasn't figured that out yet. This whole clown show is never gonna actually end. As long as there's something to laugh at, to criticize, to mock, or to make something out of, or all of the above really, this keeps going. You're not changing anything, and PvP knows that. So I'm wondering, actually, now that I think about it, to close this out, I'm wondering if PvP is going along with this because he is actually getting off on seeing DSP's desperation. And in turn, if PvP, or Triple P as I like to call him, wants to push the envelope even further, he knows he'll be able to as long as DSP is in a very desperate, vulnerable position to do so. I'm wondering if this shit is a fucking work/shoot, and it's PvP allowing DSP to think that he has more power than he really does. Okay, I'm starting to get into some meta shit now. I might be overthinking this a bit, but I'm starting to think there's an actual method behind the madness on this one, because DSP did this for 2 straight days. And PvP is not affected by the money like this. This is just some extra chump change in his pocket and shit. Even though I have seen those new championship belts that PvP has, and the Hulk Hogan one's kind of fire, to be honest with you, the old school one. I actually have I have a replica of the rattlesnake, belt, shit's in storage, and the Brahma Bull one. I always wanted the Undertaker one too. That was back during the Attitude Era though. That's back when like where they were allowed, everybody was kind of allowed to customize shit after Austin got rid of the old belt, and then he won the old belt from Shawn. Then Vince McMahon introduced the new one, the new world title. Austin didn't like that because that shit cut the top of it, like cut the bottom of his chin. And that's when he paid the money to get his own belt customized. The Flaming Skull one. And I think that was the original one with the rattlesnake skin behind it. Because I got the one with the white rattlesnake skin on it, but I think there was a red one and there might have been a black one too, now that I think about it. Anywho, I always wonder why Triple H never had one of those, but maybe he did and I'm misremembering it. I don't think he did. I think it was legitimately just Austin, The Rock, and I think The Undertaker, and I think that was it. I never got The Undertaker one. And I don't think Triple H ever got one, and I don't think Kurt Angle did either. Because I always wanted Kurt Angle to have his own design too, with the logo of the Olympics on it, but I don't think he could have done that because of trademark. Maybe that's why I don't know, whatever. Anyway, that's me going off on a bit. But I'm wondering if PvP is actually playing him and DSP don't realize it. Because PvP obviously sees how insecure DSP is, which makes it a bit easier to maneuver DSP. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you can see, that's the thing though. And let me use this to finish it out, because I don't want to draw this on any longer. To be able to, you don't have to be intelligent or smart to manipulate Darkside Phil, DSP, Phil Burnell, Dark Geppetto. It's not how that works. He has so many different vulnerabilities that you could attack him from, or you can manipulate him from. Like most lol cows, to be honest with you, so this isn't something unique to him. Any act of kindness gets you through the door. You know what I'm saying? Because he doesn't know how it is to be kind to other people, and he's been shitted on for so many years, in his own words, undeservedly, that any bit of kindness that he gets, he'll latch onto. Whether it's real or not, whether it comes from an actual genuine place or not, it doesn't matter, as long as it's being displayed to him, especially if it's being displayed publicly, he'll latch onto it. That in itself is already a problem. It's already a sign of vulnerability and weakness, and it opens you up to be taken advantage of. Everything that comes after that is just a bonus. PPP realizes that. I'm sure all of you who are listening, or at least some of you, realize that. That's basic psychology. You know what I'm saying? Especially with broken people. It's not difficult to take advantage of someone who has very little. And if you can somehow supplement not all of their needs, but at least one of their needs and or wants, then you already have them. Then it's just a matter of conditioning them to do things that you want, but make it seem like it's beneficial to them. The grill fill segment, if it does end here, it doesn't matter, because it already opened up the door to the possibilities of what PPP can do to him, or what he can get PPP to do. Now, all we have to do is shuffle the cards, and then we redeal the hand. So he hasn't stopped the game at the table, we're just reshuffling the cards. The deck is just getting reshuffled. There may be something more to this, and I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. No, it's not that I'm not seeing it. That's a lie. I see it. It's just not clear to me in particular. Fuck it. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing what the next angle is going to be. But this reset benefits PPP more than anything. Fuck the show. Fuck smart guys. No one cares about that shit. This is for, remember, PPP is only doing smart guys for his own amusement. The grill fill segment was just a bonus. If PPP could have an hour-long segment, a 2 hour-long segment, just going over Phil's lore, which is what was talked about on this actually, or it was talked about on episode 4. Oh, sorry. It was either spoken about on this episode here, excuse me, or on episode 4, where they would have just a segment where they go over DSP's lore and whatnot. I think actually DSP talked about it. I think some shit about like behind the grease or some shit like that, which I feel like that's something I've said in the past, but whatever, he can have it. He can have it. But I'm pretty confident I've said something along those lines at one time or another. But anyway, or something along those lines. So it's very clear that maybe that's what PPP's trying to line his ass up for. To have a show dedicated to just going over DSP's lores and mishaps, playing the clips, and having DSP explain it, which would be far more valuable than Smart Guys. So I'm wondering, if Smart Guys does end after WrestleMania, will that be the new project to follow it up? I don't see, even still, any respectable detractor is not going to throw money at that. But it definitely will bring in viewership. Another thing, when it came to him threatening to smack that 11-year-old, why does it matter if the video gets demonetized when you don't pull in views anyway, so you're not going to make next to nothing on ad revenue anyway? DSP might pull in $50 if that on it. So why does that even matter? Whatever. I just thought about that though. So yeah, I'm wondering if that's going to be the next scheme. I gotta be careful because I'm not trying to give out ideas, but and whatnot. Or I'm definitely not trying to give structure to already existing ideas. To be honest with you, keep that shit to myself, at least for the time being. But I wonder. I really, really wonder. Any case, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. I'll name this segment later. I have questions. I wonder. Anyway, if you guys have any thoughts and whatnot, tell me what you guys think, man. Leave it down in the comment section below if you feel the need to. And like I said, I'll catch you guys for the next one. Yet again, I will be recording a video going over that actual segment itself from the pre-stream. It might not go up directly after this, but it will go up just like the other one will. All right, people. I'll catch you guys on the flip. Later, people.